Fire and tears, holiday emotions rising up and in and down, lonely days and wide-eyed nights. Circumstances like blizzard wind takes your breath away, frozen and still. What to do, where to go? Who do I turn to? My head looks up above, my mind closed open. Help me to quell my anger with water, fire, and tears. Welcome to Val, Voices of Wisdom. Today we're going to have a show called Poetic View. And I have one of my #1 poets. Her name is Ajiah Jones. And we're going to do a little poetry and a little conversation. So I hope you enjoy. Hi, Ajiah.
Hi.
How are you?
I am well. How are
Cool,
you?
cool, cool. It's so good to see you.
You as well.
So when did you get home from school?
I got home on late Wednesday.
Late Wednesday.
Yes.
And the first time we met, I think the first time I met you, you were doing poetry at an event at the school and with the church, I think.
Yes.
Off the chain.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
like, oh
you.
my God, oh my God, oh my God. So then you did poetry again at one of our spoken word live jazz for African American Museum.
Yes.
And then you did a project at the Ross School because you also attended the Ross School.
Yes.
And how long you attended Ross School?
I was there since 5th grade, so
Since fifth
8
grade.
years. I graduated from there as well. Class
Wow.
of 2012.
All right. And I also came and filmed you. You did a project with the students.
Yes.
And could you just tell us a little bit about that project?
Okay, that was my senior project. So I really wanted to incorporate my love of children, elementary school children, and writing. So I decided to create a creative writing workshop for elementary students, preferably 3rd graders, because at the time, my younger brothers, they're twins, they were in the 3rd grade. So I worked with students from John Marshall Elementary School, and I had them come in for several Saturdays. I had them write poems and draw, and then at the end of that session, the 5-week sessions that I had them come in for, I had them perform in front of their parents, loved ones, friends. And it was a little poetry cafe for them. So that was a very exciting time. And then also from learning from them and them learning from me, I wrote poems as well. So all of the poems were written about the 5 senses, 5 weeks, 5 senses. And then I wrote poems as well about the 5 senses and then kind of my experience with being with these kids.
You know, I think, poetry is so, I don't know what the words I can use. It's such an expressive way to get things out. And kids nowadays, they need that venue. They need that way to express themselves. And I think that project, I just really enjoyed the project. And the kids, I believe, learned so much and they were so enthusiastic. And the talent. I mean, how old were these kids?
About, I want to say 8, 9-year-olds. They were pretty incredible.
They really were. They really were. So what school are you attending now?
Right now, I am at Guilford College in North Carolina.
Where is
Greensboro.
it? What is it called?
Guilford College.
Guilford.
Yes. It's pretty nice.
You like it, huh?
I do.
That's good. That's good. And what are you studying?
I am studying quite a few things. I want to major, well, I am majoring in international relations.
Oh, wonderful.
And as far as minors goes, I want to do a mix between business and nonprofit organization and go from there and see what happens.
Awesome.
As well as education, since I told you about the children.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. You have to have a foreign language as well?
Yes.
So what foreign, I'm thinking international, you might.
Yes. Well, I speak Spanish and English, and I would love to know German fluently.
Why German?
I've had quite a few German friends coming from Ross. It's a pretty international and diverse school. I loved it. you'd be sitting at a lunch table with about 5 different languages, ethnicities.
That's awesome.
I mean, half the time we could barely understand each other, but we knew past the soul.
Right,
It was good.
right.
So
I love what you just said. We knew past the soul.
we knew past the
See, that's a
yeah.
poet. See, I know. See? Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's kind of the background as far as languages go. But I really love culture and traveling. And as a child, I've always wanted to do that. But I don't think I would want to have a job that requires me to travel a lot. More have vacation so I could really fully get a grasp on the culture.
Got you.
And the people and the language and the food. I love food. So that's mostly what I would love to do.
Awesome, awesome. So international, we talk about international and we talk about children and education. You know, we can't help but think about what happened in Connecticut. I just want to throw a couple of questions. What do you think about the responsibility of our society now?
I think we are responsible to look closely at what is going on now. There are a lot of tragedies happening right now in the world, and I think it's up to us as a society to look at what is going on, you know, to talk to one another. There are people out there that are hurting, and it's, you know, a simple hello, a smile, you know, how are you doing? It's very easy to do, you know, and it changes lives, and you don't know what could happen with, you know, a simple hello, a simple smile. And I think it's also up to us as for security as well. You know, we don't know who's out there. You know, it's up to us to protect our children, and at the same time, it's devastating that this happened because as a parent, you send your child off to school to get education, you know, to prepare them, and you don't expect to get a phone call or to see it on the news that your child may not be coming home.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know,
prayers go out to the families.
Absolutely, definitely prayers go out to the families. The Second Amendment regarding the guns, that's going to be probably talked about for the next probably couple of years, hopefully. And not only just talked about, I'm hoping something will be implemented. What is your feeling about the gun rules and the gun laws that we have now?
For me personally, I would like to see policymakers, you know, look at these gun laws. It's in the Constitution. You know, we have the right to bear arms, but the Constitution is ever changing and ever evolving. If the Constitution was a fixed Constitution, it would still be okay to say that African Americans are a fraction of a human being, of a person.
Wow.
So I think that it's important for us as a democracy, you know, in the United States, to look at the things that we have founded ourselves upon, what our foundation really is based upon.
Yeah, that's a lot. And you know, something you said earlier that is so important, we can change the world.
Yes.
We can do that. And I think right now a lot of people feel hopeless and they feel kind of like really kind of torn right now in a state of shock and et cetera. But I think once we kind of, the ones that, you know, we all are feeling the pain, but I think a lot of us need to really come together and do something. I really enjoyed what the president said, and I really believe that something's going to be done about this. You know, it has to. I mean, we cannot see another child like that, another incident like that. And I was watching something on television. It was really interesting to hear. Matter of fact, it wasn't on television. It was someone had put something on Facebook and said that how the media has just keep putting this out there and portraying the guy who killed more than the victims. And basically, you know, his opinion, of course, everybody has an opinion, was that the more we do this, it sets up for somebody else crazier to do something even more crazier. And, you know, it's his opinion, but it was a thought. You know, when I read that this morning, I said, you know what? It's something to think about. What do you think about that?
I think that...
Dealing with the media, I guess.
Yes. I think the media also has a responsibility as well.
That's true.
There's that issue of censorship. I had an ethics class my first semester, and it really brought my attention to just the media in general because we talked about the war in Iraq, the war in Afghanistan, and things that happened in Vietnam, and Guantanamo Bay, and the pictures that were released. And I think that, you know, we as the public, we do have the right to know what's going on, but there's also there needs to be a line between the things that we are shown and the things that we are told, because you don't want there to be a disconnect between the public and what the truth is.
That's true.
And I think that along with that censorship issue, there comes that type of filtering. Because we want to know the truth about what's going on, but we don't want it to be filtered down to the point where you question, well, he's saying this, she's saying this network is saying that, so what do you believe? You know, it's time for us, like I said before, like you said before, to join together and really get our facts together.
And you know, that's been the challenge. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's been the challenge for me, is what is the truth? You know, the media, nothing against the media because we're doing media stuff right now, but it's basically, it's almost in a competition, who can get the quickest story. I remember even with the Central Park Jogger case, that's a movie that's out now, that they had this whole big thing with the, Central Park 5 did this and did that, and they were horrible people, et cetera, and come find out they weren't, the victim. I mean, they weren't the killers. It was this one guy. So it wasn't a matter of, getting the truth. It was just a matter of getting the paper out there, getting there, who can get who can get the story out the fastest, and that disturbs me. It really disturbs me. And I don't know if that would be another way that, but like you said, the Constitution is ever changing. But that's something I think also needs to be talked about and looked at as well. But we can change. We can make the change. And I think it's definitely time for us to make the change. Let's talk a little bit also about your ambitions and your dreams. I know I just see you. I mean, we got to stay connected because I want to know.
Yes.
I don't know whether it's going to be TV or whatever. I know something wonderful is going to happen in your life. So explain to us a little bit of your ambitions and your dreams.
Well, as far as school goes, I want to finish school, stay educated. And I've always wanted to, ever since my senior project, working with the kids and then writing, I'm thinking that I really want to just create different programs for young children. And I would love to travel to undeveloped countries and raise literacy rates through elementary students.
Awesome.
And create schools and just build that foundation of reading and writing in their basic language wherever they are, and also in English. And just create a world of a better generation, I think it's very important that everyone has the right to education.
Yes.
It's important.
It's very, very, very important. So, we have like 14 minutes, and I cannot do this show without us doing some poetry, because that's what it's all about. Yeah. So we're going to get ready, Flo, and do some poetry. I'm hoping, I don't know how long we're going to take. We might have to extend it a little bit or might cut it off. Okay. But I'm going to let you flow first.
First?
Yes.
Okay.
My guest first.
All right. That's complimentary.
Yes.
Okay. This one I wrote a while back. It takes me a while to title my pieces. One, because I think when I title something, it kind of confines it to that one subject. But everyone tells me, you should title it, that one about the guy, and he was walking down the street, and then he saw himself, and I know exactly which one they're talking about, but it's just, people really respond to titles.
Yes.
And I don't know, as a writer yourself, I don't know if you feel the same way, but.
It's funny, I usually do my titles. I get a title, or sometimes I get a subject, and then I do start writing, but I generally always have a title. Most of the time. Not the majority, I have to say majority, I have a title. So everybody's different, I guess.
Because for me, my writing, the way I write is a little odd.
And I love it.
When I was younger, like elementary school, I've been writing since, I would like to say since I've been holding a pencil, but that's basically little words, phrases. But when I was younger, I used to write my short stories from the end to the beginning.
Right.
And then as far as...
That's how people write movies.
Yeah. As far as poems, I like to write them when I'm home in one particular spot. I'll be right next to the bed, usually on the floor, and then I write. And it's around nighttime. And when I write sometimes, I won't even think. That's how I know it's just something amazing. I won't read what I wrote. I don't know what I wrote. It's just, okay. And it's just continuous. And then when I go back, I'm like, wow, I wrote this? It's kinda
I
good.
know, because I've read some of my poems. I was like, I wrote this.
And then I look online at other people's poems, and I say to myself, wait, I wrote this. 'Cause
Yeah.
I just don't remember sometimes
Yeah,
because
yeah.
just everything comes out.
Yes, yes.
But this one here, I wrote about writing the world's freedom, basically, and what that could do. But I'll let everyone interpret it for themselves.
And you can look into that camera and
Okay.
give it to them and talk it slow and
Yes.
so we can hear it.
Most definitely. If I could write the world's freedom, this would be my declaration to you. This is my ink manifested on white page canvas, my soul poured out to you. Cut me so softly every time I speak life to you. Truth, let's not forget how honest we are here. If I could write the world's freedom, I would lift my hand and sign on the dotted line, stating that everything would change. Patience is a virtue, yet you rush into immoral acts considered faults in truth minds. He blanks. Is it the ring? Will he tell? On time for a white dress to walk down the aisle time because everyone is late. So I state that we change how we play with time because it's not a chess game you can restart. Because love over time does not mean that my finger cries out for a diamond because I love. And it does not mean that the waist above my hip line needs a gift inside because black eyes sketched like Van Gogh and said that when mommy is not on time with daddy and daddy is not on time with mommy, a child is born off schedule. So people question the colors of my frame and everyone is asking, why were you late? And in detention, I'm left to tell my teachers about my parents, my loving mother and father who weren't on time. I was left to tell time on my own. Left to read digits and pronounce numbers, not knowing the meaning, creating my own language, speaking whatever, because I was born into a world where time is one way we function. I would then lift my hand and sign on the dotted line stating that everything would change this time. Declare another love, and they told me they expect me to love. Trust and believe in something I can't see, questioning every other power when the power of my genesis is the power of a hand slashed. I know these black and blue paintings is not love. I know when he says I'm beautiful and asks where are my wings because it looks like I'm from above. That is his love, is nothing like the love that I will love for eternity. I declare a new war policy, one that polishes my identity because we are dying, killing each other softly, because we are dying for each other and no one is crying for life. On this battlefield, we fought for years. Slowly, we're blinded to a point we now cannot see. Chained to everything that we breathe, waiting to exhale, we've held our breath for too long. Now grasping for air like a newborn child released from the umbilical cord. Sadly, it was you who tied yourself and somehow managed to throw away the key. If I wrote the world's freedom in my declaration, I would only use a mic. Because we would all be one voice under one mind, screaming the same song. If I had no pen and wrote the world's freedom with my lips, what would you do? Would you stand there and watch, or would you help me write it too?
That was great. I'm going to do a couple, and then you're going to do another. We have a couple of minutes.
Oh, I just want to say something. Everyone always asks me, they're like, so, how's your family? Are you sad? Are you depressed? And I'm just able to take emotions, and I'm not sad or anything. I feel great, I could go dance and prance around, but it's just, people will tell me stories or I'll hear conversations. I'm very inspired by conversations, especially being in New York, Long Island, conversations are everywhere. And I think that's where my inspiration comes from, and that's what I write about.
Wow. This one is called Speaking Tears. When you cannot say a word, tears speak from the heart. Need a release of pain, crying tears depart. Tears of joy, tears of fear, tears of anger, tear, drop, tears. Sometimes the best words the heart can speak is found in the resounding voice of heartfelt tears. This one is the heart and soul of the matter. And I wrote this actually last night thinking of the incident that happened in Connecticut. Playground, jump ropes, crayons, and balloons. Sunshine, puppies, laughter and fun. Confusion, loneliness, hatred, madness, machine guns. Love silenced. We are responsible. Who, how, and why? We must stop the bleeding. Tears flowing, knees bowing, the heart and soul of the matter. Your turn.
Thank you. This one I wrote when I was working with the kids, and what this topic is on site. One of the senses. Okay. Brown girl, what do you see? I see me looking at you, staring at me, watching you, studying me with those bold lenses I cannot deny. I can't see much right now, because my vision is a little hazy, falling from grace. So if you could be a little patient as I figure out as to what I'm really looking at. Inside this frame that encloses my thoughts, tell me, brown girl, what do you see? I see traces of pen on her skin. Maybe that's why it's so deep. Lashes of wonder that cover your curiosity and L'Oreal's. I see your curls blossoming through your Connoisseur strands. I see wonder in your eyes. Is that why you're so tired of questioning? Don't give up now. I see cheeks that could hold rivers of tears, but instead erode and leave your face glistening. Like the broken fingers on your hand, she may think simply, but most have to step into the shallow before they make it into the deep. I hope you don't sink in thought, so I thought I would just ask you what you see in that reflection when looking at you staring at me, watching you studying me. Sometimes I'll see your hands going over the pieces of your smile, trying to make a puzzle. Tracing the outline of your jaw, it's amazing when you speak. Even if I can't hear you because your voice is only a perceived vibration that tickles the outside spiral of my ear, I believe it is still beautiful. Because even though through your shadow I see beauty staring back at me.
That's great. This one is seeing the world through new eyes. Blinded by the torment of the past, sitting in the darkness of pain, pushing through to the light, to see the world through new eyes. Recovering, moving forward, restoring, moving in, renewing, moving up to higher ground, seeing the world through new eyes. This one is called You Can't Find Peace Until You Find the Pieces. Time to pick up the pieces to put together the puzzle of peace. That piece of love that came from a part-time dad. That piece of joy that was grasped during lonely playground days. That piece of hope looking in the mirror of your future. Gathering the pieces can be long and hard, but keep on piecing the pieces. It's worth it all. Your turn. We got like 3 minutes.
Okay. Yes, this is my last. I got something for you, and it's not even about my last name. Is there an asylum for the emotionally insane? Because that I do not need. Trust it'll make it worse. I'll attempt to write it down and keep it confined to a verse. I got something for you. Wrapped with a bow, maybe even a ribbon, but that's just my feminine touch. Hope it's not overwhelming. But that's a given. I won't keep my distance. I keep close to you. Enough to see your shadow anytime, even through the smoke in the candle. I see your eyes blossom like spring when you wake up in the morning, I suppose. I got something for you. Your mind. I dare you to place together the broken pieces of words that were left behind like second-grade memories. I got something for you that you'll remember.
I love it. I love it. Okay, I think we got enough for two more from me, I guess. I'll just do this one. Precious thoughts. Peace in war, love in hate, joy in pain. Floodwaters blamed, Katrina, Sandy, and Irene. Levees broken, words unspoken of fear of dying, corruption of lying, one-on-one crime. Your brothers and mine make no senseless time to repent. Church divided, but in God we trust. In the Benjamin man in the mirror, make that change. We are our brother's keeper. The thought remains. Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love? You are the love. This has been great, and I hope you get back soon, so maybe we can do this again.
Awesome.
And so when you're going back to school?
I am leaving on the 26th of January.
So I wish you all the luck and all the blessings and et cetera, et cetera. And before we go, I just again want us to say a silent moment for the families and the children.
Yes.
You know, even the EMT people that in the police office that had to witness all of that, you know, I think it was really a traumatic thing for everybody.
Yes.
So we have like 30 seconds left or so, and I just want us to just take the time and just take that moment of silence and just say a prayer for them. Okay. This has been Val, Voices of Wisdom, and my wonderful, awesome guest, Ajiah Jones. I hope you enjoyed Poetic View. You have a wonderful day.